First tonight,
passports for sale at Phillips Passport Shack. Don't get a passport.
the Free National Movement continues to slam government over a recent uptick in fraud cases and arrests. Plus, continued controversy from the campaign trail as both major parties now under scrutiny over allegations of gift distributions to voters. And then, the Progressive Liberal Party promising progress over in Andros.
We will begin planning for the development of the city of Andros.
And then in our news at 7:30, voters registered for tomorrow's advance poll in the second city are weighing in. Our Jamila Missick joins us live from Grand Bahama with issues top of mind for residents there. We have the details for these stories and more as our news live at 7 starts now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. The Free National Movement took its 2026 election campaign to R.M. Bailey Park last night, where hundreds of party supporters descended to hear nearly a dozen candidates and the party's case to become the next governing party. Our Jasmine Brown was there, and as she tells us in this report, the festive atmosphere didn't stop candidates from slamming the Davis administration.
The message focused on what the party calls saving the country's sovereignty, with candidate after candidate calling for the protection of national documents like NIB cards, voters' cards, and passports. Taking a swipe at the Davis administration and growing concerns about a recent uptick in fraud arrests, FNM member and rally moderator Carlisle Bethel threw fake Bahamian passports out to party supporters. And Bethel wasn't the only one to knock the Davis administration over the issue. Former National Security Minister under the last FNM administration turned Mount Moriah candidate Marvin Dames also weighed in.
Would I have watched this PLP do over the last 5 years to our borders, to our voters register, to your passport, is a national disgrace.
And then there was the issue of errors on the voter register, which was released earlier this week. The Parliamentary Registration Department downplayed the issue, saying they were typographical errors and a system glitch. But party chairman and Bambootown candidate Dr. Dwayne Sands and Elizabeth candidate Heather Hunt both think it could impact the credibility of the approaching general election. Hunt telling the crowd that she's made some interesting discoveries while canvassing the constituency, including allegedly finding people charged with voter fraud still being listed on the recently released voters register.
People are on that register who did not even apply to vote in the advance poll. Tell me, how is that possible?
There are just far too many errors, anomalies, and problems at the Parliamentary Registration Department that there's got to be more than just incompetence.
Wrapping up the speeches last night was FNM leader Michael Pintard, who accused the Davis administration of betraying residents and called on them to vote out the PLP.
We've come with a new team to disrupt this system. You see, when you become frustrated to the point that you decide that you're going to vote elsewhere, what happens is what happened in 2012. When you decide you're voting elsewhere or you are staying home, the PLP wins.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Thanks so much, Jasmine. Well, a growing political controversy unfolding on the campaign trail, with both major parties now under scrutiny over allegations of voucher distributions to voters. From Apico to Southern Shores, questions are being raised about whether these acts constitute legitimate assistance or an attempt to influence support during the election period. Our Chinasa Outen joins us now with more. Chinasa, what can you tell us?
Megan, the political controversy and tactics continue. Yes, Megan, the political controversy and tactics continue to heat up, with both major parties now under major scrutiny. We spoke to representatives from both major parties, that's the PLP and FNM, about allegations of gift distributions for votes.
We first reported on Tuesday on Central and South Abaco PLP candidate Bradley Fox, who is allegedly responsible for distributing around $200,000 in gift cards labeled as Dorian relief, despite the hurricane occurring 6 years ago. The FNM has since raised concerns, going as far as calling for actions against officials, alleging the funds may have been derived from taxpayer money and used to influence voters during the campaign period. But it appears the issue isn't limited to one side. This as in Southern Shore's FNM candidate Denali Pan-Mackey has also come under scrutiny for distributing grocery vouchers for super value. Critics say the timing of such handouts raises questions about whether they may have been seen as an attempt to win support. However, Pan-Mackey pushes back to that characterization.
It's not an election ploy for me. If you were to check my track record, you would see that I am one who has always poured into the life of people. And so for me, that's not what it's all about.
She also responded to claims of hypocrisy after critics pointed to similar practices.
What Denali has done, it is funded by me and my campaign. What the PLP does, I don't know their source, but I can speak to mine.
Meanwhile, FNM Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands defended the party's position in an interview with local newspapers, saying the law centers on intent, saying, and I quote, "But there's nothing that says that somebody with food insecurity can't be given a meal or access to the items to prepare a meal. So it really depends on what the intent is." On social media, the issue has also sparked widespread debate, with some users questioning the timing and motivation behind the distribution. One comment reads, "How do I get one? Because after election, they go missing." Chairman of the COI has also weighed in, calling the practice a potential violation of the law. This is a clear abuse of the electoral process. Under the Parliamentary Elections Act 1992, giving gifts or financial benefits to voters during an active election period to influence support amounts to bribery and is illegal.
And now, with distribution of vouchers under heavy scrutiny, the questions are being raised. What is actually legitimate? So now, from Abaco to Southern Shores, the question remains, where do we draw the line with the race for votes? Back to you in studio, Megan.
Thanks so much. Our Chinasa Outen reporting live tonight. Well, the Progressive Liberal Party took its message of progress to Central Andros Tuesday night, using a high-energy rally to court Family Island voters with promises of jobs, infrastructure, upgrades, and long-term development. Our Delvado Emmanuel has more.
The Progressive Liberal Party took its campaign message to the Big Yard Tuesday night, turning a rally for progress into a show of support filled with music, political firepower, and promises for more development for the Family Islands. The event featured performances by Ebony, Julian Believe Bloody, and Johnny Cake, while former Prime Minister Perry Christie also made an appearance as party supporters gathered to hear from a string of candidates and senior officials. Garden Hills MP and Youth, Sports and Culture Minister Mario Bolag was among the first to take the stage, saying no community in Andros should be overlooked. PLP Elizabeth incumbent Jobeth Kobe Davis says Andros will receive a new power plant to improve electricity supply.
You are getting you a hybrid microgrid power plant with solar energy battery storage systems, solar plants, and LNG cleaner fuel.
Central and South Electoral MP Clay Sweeten pointed to roadworks, dock improvements, and support for fishermen. Meanwhile, Central Mangrove Key and South Andros MP Leon Lundy highlighted a list of projects he said are in the pipeline.
The improvements at Lisbon Creek, the work on the seawall at Burnt Rock, and the development of the Little Harbor fishing ramp are all practical investments that strengthen our community and support the livelihoods of our people.
And closing the night, party leader and Prime Minister Philip Davis outlined a long-term vision for Andros, saying the island can become a hub for economic activity, environmental enterprise, and sustainable development.
We will begin planning for the development of the city of Andros. The city of Andros, laying the foundation for Andros to become a hub of economic activity, environmental enterprise, and sustainable development. The new city of Andros, my friends, is what it's all about. That is the future we are working toward.
Now we'll see which of these candidates will ultimately win the constituency come May 12th. Reporting for our news, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Thanks, Delvado. Well, out with the old and in with the new. This election season, some registered voters across the country will say goodbye to their purple paper voters card to use the new biometric voters card now being issued by the Parliamentary Registration Department. And residents over in Grand Bahama aren't being left out. Several registered voters showed up today at the Foster B. Pastina Center to collect their new voters cards ahead of the May 12th general election. Larry Robinson tells us he applied for the card in January.
Today it was very smooth. The process was efficient, fast. I was there for 15 minutes, so that is great.
But for others like Tyrone Thurston Sr., whose card was not ready for collection, he says this won't deter him from voting on Election Day.
Well, it's interesting. I thought that I would be able to pick it up, but it's not quite ready. But what is reassuring is the fact that I could use my passport, a national insurance card, or a driver's license for the purpose of voting. And that's convenient. So if I get it, fine. If not, whenever it's ready, I'll be back.
Well, the Bahamas Christian Council has a new leader at its helm for the next 3 years. Senior pastor of Bahamas Harvest Church, Mario Moxie, was elected to the role on Thursday after receiving the majority of the 200 votes cast. Moxie succeeds a former president, Bishop Delton Fernander, who was twice elected to lead the religious group. Joining him on the council's leadership slate is First Vice President Bishop Woodley Thompson. Other vice presidents include Reverends Carla Culmer and Roderick Bain, as well as Bishop Deanna Cunningham. Moxie telling reporters that he considers his new role a privilege, adding that under his leadership, the council will embark on a mandate dubbed One Voice, One Church, One Nation.
It's not our intention to make decisions from a very unilateral perspective, but to do it from the perspective of taking under consideration all denominations. And so when everyone is sitting at the table, as our executive team is, everyone is able to contribute and take under consideration the values, the principles, and the doctrine of others. So I think we're going to have a very successful term. Based on that, I think you're going to see a lot of camaraderie within the body of Christ and a lot of unity.
Well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg, happy hump day.
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and a happy Wednesday evening, everybody. A very warm day around the islands as we had a very dry air mass in place. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures are starting to come down, but they're still warm outside. 80 degrees under mostly clear skies. East winds at 8 miles per hour. It feels like temperature is a very warm 77 degrees. Temperatures right now around the family of islands. We are looking at very warm temperatures tonight. 78s in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Marsh, Abaco, Alistown, Bimini. Then we pick up 79s in Great Harbour, Key, the Berry Islands. Over in Governor's Harbour, Eleuthera as well. Nicholstown, North Andros, 80 degrees there. Here in the capital, 80 degrees. 81 in Kemps Bay, South Andros. 79 in Black Point, Exuma, Keys, Arthurstown, Cat Island, and in Port Nelson, Rum Key, as well as in Deadman's Key and in Georgetown. Coburn Townsend, Salvador, 77, and into the southeast Bahamas. 79 once again in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island. Then we pick up 80 degrees in Delectable Bay, Acklands, over in Providenciales, Tricks, and Kiggis Islands. Megwana, High Abrahams Bay, 81, and Matthewtown, Inagua, deep south. We round out our temperature profile at 83. Satellite radar composite, no change in the weather. Dry air mass in place. Weak high pressure also in place and in charge of our weather, keeping us with some light winds. Easterly winds mainly across the central and southeast Bahamas, but those winds are turning more towards the southeast across the northwest Bahamas. That's all ahead of a weak boundary that will clip the northern islands, but it's going to stay well to the north and move out into the Atlantic. Looking for some warmer temperatures for the balance of the week. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, you plan to have confetti fall from the ceiling, didn't you, Celtics fans? Well, there's more sports, but we got to laugh at their pain first.
Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Voting is how we shape the future of the Bahamas, but it doesn't start at the ballot box. It starts with being informed and involved beforehand. Learn about the candidates, ask questions, and compare their priorities. Engage with your community, follow national debates, and seek reliable information so that your choices reflect what matters most to you. Participate in public discussions and make your voice heard. Then, when you go to the polls, you're not just casting a vote, you're making an informed decision. Your knowledge matters, your actions matter. The future of the Bahamas depends on those who show up, speak up, get informed, and get involved.
They got a way to get involved. Get involved, get involved. Let's go!
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
It's your vote.
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 Then it's our vote. Tune into Channel 212 on election night for play-by-play coverage of the biggest decision in the country. It's our vote, only on RTV.
Meet the voices who want your vote. Coming to the RTV lineup, Candidates Catalog, a show that throws political heavyweights and newcomers into headline-grabbing challenges. Join Megan Shepherd as she dissects candidates' promises, pasts, and personas. Candidates Catalog, where strategy collides with conscience. Only on RTV.
Welcome to Our Sports is 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Sure, when the Sixers are at full strength, the counting stats might go down for VJ. But winning and keeping the season alive, that is the lead here. Edgecombe scored 10 and grabbed 7 rebounds while shooting 3 for 6 from beyond the arc, and the 76ers staved off elimination with a 113-97 win over the Celtics in Game 5. Meanwhile, Buddy Hield got some late game run in the Hawks' 126-97 loss to the Knicks.
Justin Roberts has been on a run recently that has him progressing to a career high on the ITF Tour. Roberts is now ranked 164th by the organization after his recent run at the Orlando M15 tournaments. He had 3 wins over Alex Cooperston, Blue Baker, and Bastien Mala before an eventual loss to top-seeded Cannon Kingley in the semifinal.
We've said it a few times this season. The benefit of playing in the World Baseball Classic translates to the fields in the minor leagues, and it's happening for Ian Lewis. Lewis's debut season in AA with the Pensacola Blue Wahoos has had several milestone moments so far, and that continued last night with his first home run at this level. His solo shot tied the game in the 7th inning before Biloxi went on to win 7-2. It adds to what has been an electrifying start to the year for the Miami Marlins prospect, but most of those highlights have come from his speed on the base paths. Earlier in April, Lewis stole 4 bases in a single game against Biloxi and later swiped 3 bags against the Knoxville Smokies. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
On the other side of this break, April is designated as Purpose Awareness Month. We'll tell you about the local impact across schools over the past 10 years. And then in our news at 7:30, government wiping away the BBL bills of qualified residents in parts of Abaco. Both the PLP and F&M are weighing in on the move. Those details coming up when our news continues.
Voting is how we shape the future of the Bahamas, but it doesn't start at the ballot box. It starts with being informed and involved beforehand. Learn about the candidates, ask questions, and compare their priorities. Engage with your community, follow national debates, and seek reliable information so that your choices reflect what matters most to you. Participate in public discussions and make your voice heard. Then, when you go to the polls, you're not just casting a vote, you're making an informed decision. Your knowledge matters, your actions matter. The future of the Bahamas depends on those who show up, speak up, get informed, and get involved.
They got a way to get involved. Get involved, get involved. Let's go! Come on! Oh, yeah! Look here, we gotta be there for each other. Sister and brother.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8 p.m. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology and your customer service depends.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. King Charles III and Queen Camilla kicked off their trip to New York City today with a visit to the National 9/11 Memorial, where they honored victims of the 2001 attacks. The stop is part of the royal couple's 4-day trip to the U.S. to mark 250 years of American independence. It's the first trip to New York by a reigning British monarch since Queen Elizabeth II visited in 2010. The royal couple shook hands and spoke to a line of people, including families of victims and first responders. Charles and Camilla did not give any public remarks at the memorial, which is in keeping with tradition. Former FBI Director James Comey surrendered today to law enforcement before his first appearance in federal court. Comey, who was charged with making a threat against President Donald Trump by photographing seashells on a North Carolina beach, was allowed to leave court with no conditions of release. He is now charged with making a threat against the president and transmitting a threat in interstate commerce. He was not asked to enter a plea. Comey's attorneys told the judge they plan to file motions accusing the Justice Department of selectively and vindictively prosecuting their client. Cuban doctors are departing Guatemala after the Central American country's government ended a medical cooperation agreement with the Caribbean nation. They had worked under an agreement that allowed Cuban medical personnel to serve in both rural and urban health centers. The medical brigades are a key source of revenue for the Cuban government, as foreign governments pay their doctors' salaries directly to the Cuban government. Under the Trump administration, Secretary of State Rubio repeatedly pressured Latin American and Caribbean governments to end the cooperation programs.
From the field to the fresh market, you will find fresh, delicious, mouth-watering produce and meat. Discover organic, specialty, and healthy grocery products for everyday cooking. Your adventure awaits. Experience the fresh escape. Sign up today for My Solomon Smart Rewards at Solomon's Fresh Market.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
It's your vote.
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 Then it's our vote. Tune into Channel 212 on election night for play-by-play coverage of the biggest decision in the country. It's our vote, only on RTV.
Meet the voices who want your vote. Coming to the RTV lineup, Candidates Catalog, a show that throws political heavyweights and newcomers into headline-grabbing challenges. Join Megan Shepherd as she dissects candidates' promises, pasts, and personas. Candidates Catalog, where strategy collides with conscience. Only on RTV.
Voting is how we shape the future of the Bahamas, but it doesn't start at the ballot box. It starts with being informed and involved beforehand. Learn about
All right, well, to watch any of today's top stories, be sure to visit ournews.bs. And of course, be sure to stay tuned to the team you already trust for continued coverage as we head to the polls on tomorrow morning for the advance poll and May 12th for the general election. That does it for our news at 7. Joining us now is our Talia Hall-Thomas with the latest headlines. Talia.
Welcome back, Megan. Did you enjoy vacay?
It was a pleasure. Short-lived, but a pleasure.
All right, welcome back. Well, coming up just hours before the advance poll, National Security Minister Wayne Munro in a national address making a case for public confidence in the electoral process. Here are your latest headlines.
BPL bills cleared. First tonight on our news live at 7:30.
Government is wiping away the bills of qualifying residents on Grand Key and Moores Island, Abaco. Stay tuned to our news tonight for more details.
Also, as New Providence heads to the advanced polls, Grand Bahama residents are also preparing to vote. Our Jamila Mizik is live on the ground tonight. Plus, a Freetown candidate raising concerns about what she calls an uneven playing field outside polling sites. And later, in just hours, hundreds of Bahamians will cast their ballots in the advanced poll overseas. We check in with some locations abroad when our news live at 7:30 returns.
Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button if you'd like to see more content like this. Follow all of the Our News social media pages so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury, Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now.
Go to doctors.
3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, and Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
When bold flavor meets crispy perfection, something deliciously unexpected happens. Say hello to Wendy's new Italian chicken sandwich. Juicy chicken topped with Italian seasoned tomatoes, melty mozzarella, and a zesty mayo spread that'll have you saying, "Please."
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall-Thomas. First tonight, government wiping away the BPL bills of qualified residents in parts of Abaco. The Progressive Liberal Party calling it a good-hearted gesture, and the Free National Movement labeling it a political ploy. Our Joshua Williams reports.
The Davis administration defending its decision to wipe away the electricity bills of qualifying residents on Grand Key and Moores Island, Abaco. These residents reportedly affected by long-standing electricity billing issues that arose in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian and made worse by the COVID-19 pandemic. This coming just 2 weeks before the general election, with the Free National Movement questioning the move, saying the PLP will do anything to hold on for power. But the Office of the Prime Minister Communications Director claiming they're simply cleaning up a mess the FNM made while they were in office.
It would be an injustice for the government of the Bahamas to ask residents to do something and then turn around and charge those residents for something the government had asked them to do.
But the FNM sees it differently. Last night at a packed rally on Bailey Park, candidate for North Abaco, Therese Boodle, calling the move too little, too late.
Efforts like this is not a sustained effort. We need a plan.
But some residents disagree. Social media messages show residents praising the move, including North Abaco Administrator Stephen Wilson.
As I've said, any help to Grand Key or Moores Island or any other place in the Commonwealth of Bahamas and done at the Unified Auckland or wherever the government render assistance, would be grateful.
But exactly who will foot the bill? It's a question both the opposition and taxpayers are asking.
For the amount the government owes to BPL, they would just simply reduce a formula where they would absorb that debt or erase that debt or null, make that debt null.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Well, while residents across New Providence prepare to head to the advance poll tomorrow, residents in the nation's second city are also gearing up to make their voices heard in the 2026 general election. Our Jamila Mizik is on the ground tonight, and she spoke to some residents who say they are hoping to see greater results next time around. Jamila, you are back home in our hometown. What can you tell us?
That's right, Italia. I'm here live on the Port Lucaya Strip. And as you can see behind me, it is the Grand Lucayan Resort, which was a highly debated topic during the 2026 election season. And as we know, tomorrow is the advance polls. I spoke to some residents today and I asked them exactly what's driving their vote ahead of the election. Here's what they had to say.
If you want my vote, I need to at least see you once in the 5 years, you know?
That sentiment, a familiar cry among many Grand Bahama voters who say there needs to be greater representation on the island. And while some residents remain undecided on who they'll vote for, others say the choice is clear. But before heading to the polls, they believe there are some long-standing issues that must be addressed, and this time around, they're hoping that Grand Bahama is top priority on the government's agenda. Registered voter Tyrone Thurston Sr. says he's looking forward to economic improvements in the tourism industry.
Grand Bahama in particular, I think it has tremendous amount of potential. However, we need to just, whatever is required, i.e. the airport, more hotels, more variety, luxury, mid-range, and the economy tourism. I mean, and again, the new thing, medical tourism, I believe will be another dimension, especially to attract high caliber income persons.
Healthcare on the island also a major concern.
We look at the hospitals, it's deplorable. It's not even, I don't even know if it's close to the 21st century if we can. We are so backwards, you know, and we really need to get it together.
Then there's voters like Steve Dean who say some 7 years later, the impacts of Hurricane Dorian can still be felt on the island. He believes there should have been more of an economic rebound.
Going forward, I trust that whoever the next government is, I trust that they be able to handle those kinds of things, the airport and the hotel, and create some opportunities for the people's standard of living to be lifted higher than where it is now. Great. After Dorian, it's been a long time now, so we should have been doing better than we are at this point.
Now the polls will open beginning at 8 a.m. and a number of approved persons will be able to vote. That includes the elderly, the armed forces, those traveling, and some with medical exceptions, among others. Now the various polling stations include the Church of the Ascension for those voters in East End, or the Eastern constituency, I should say, Belinda M. Wilson Convention Center for those voting out of Marco City, the City of Life for those voting out of Central Grand Bahama, the Foster B. Pastena Center for those in the Pine Ridge constituency, and the 8 Mile Rock High School Gymnasium for those voting out of West Grand Bahama. Now we also expect to see a number of candidates, perhaps the Member of Parliament from Marco City, who is also the leader of the opposition, the Free National Movement, Michael Pintard, along with other members of the FNM, the PLP, and the COI. But who exactly will show up? Well, we'll just have to wait and see tomorrow. But for now, I'm here live in Port Lucaya, sending it back to you.
All right, great reporting. Thanks so much, our Jamila Mizik, reporting live on the ground in Grand Bahama tonight. Well, with just hours to go before the advance poll, National Security Minister Wayne Munro is making a case for public confidence in the electoral process. Speaking during a national address from the office of the Prime Minister today, Munro said the Bahamas has had a long-standing reputation for fair elections. Munro is predicting a record number of voter participation in the advance poll, saying voters should do so with full confidence.
Our electoral system is built with multiple overlapping layers of safeguards. Before a ballot is ever issued, voters must present proper identification and be matched against the official register. The counterfoil for each ballot must match. Election officials are trained, they are observed, and they are accountable. Every political party and independent candidate, government and opposition alike, is entitled to have agents present in every polling station, including during this advance poll. And they will be watching every voter, every ballot, and every step of the count.
The minister also addressing concerns with deceased voters or possible errors on the register. He said those issues do not automatically translate into fraud because voters must physically appear and be verified before receiving a ballot. Munro adding any irregularities should be reported through the proper channels, including presiding officers or the Parliamentary Registration Department.
What I ask of every Bahamian is this: bring your concerns forward through the proper channels and they will be examined. If you believe you've witnessed an irregularity at the polls, speak to the presiding officer at your polling station or contact the Parliamentary Registration Department directly. Every credible concern is documented. Where errors are found, they are corrected, because that is how a serious democracy works, and that is how our democracy works.
Well, chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party and its Fox Hill candidate Fred Mitchell releasing a video message today describing the Free National Movement as a desperate organization. This claim stems from recent discrepancies in the voter register, like erroneous birth dates, absent names, and the names of deceased voters on the register. In a statement released by the Parliamentary Registration Department, they say the errors were identified and are the result of a typographical error and a system glitch. In the video message, Mitchell adds that in any administrative process, errors are inevitable. However, the opposition is attempting to make a mountain out of a molehill, trying to create a pretext for their lack of support.
What we don't understand is why in God's name would you, as a major party in this country, you've depended on the electoral process all of these years. You helped to design the present legislation. It has worked for you. Your own former Prime Minister and former leader Hubert Ingraham told you that the guardrails are there and to drop this farcical nonsense that you're going on with, but you keep doing it. And what you're doing is you're sending information overseas that's undermining the very democracy that you say that you support.
Well, the chairman of the Free National Movement and candidate for Bamboo Town, Dr. Dwayne Sands, disputes Mitchell's claims. He says the present voter register is an absolute mess and believes the challenges will hinder a free and fair election. Those concerns also shifting to the southeastern Bahamas, as F&M candidate for Cat Island, Ramkey and San Salvador, Mike Holmes, also telling our news today there are questions about roughly 400 people on the voter register who have not been residents on those islands for the past 3 months. And the leader of the Coalition of Independents, Lincoln Bain, is satisfied that the F&M and the Parliamentary Registration Department are finally recognizing the issues.
Most of the F&M constituencies received their register on or about 10 p.m. 2 nights ago. The Progressive Liberal Party constituency associations received theirs in the morning, shortly before the so-called fire at the Parliamentary Registration Department. An interesting coincidence.
But the voter registration, that is the bedrock of our democracy. And this is not something we should take flippantly or lightly. We cannot just push something off to typos, because typos are very critical, because when someone goes to vote and their name was spelled wrong for some reason, they can be disenfranchised.
Freetown candidate for the Coalition of Concerned Citizens, Olivia Griffin, is raising concerns about what she described as an uneven playing field outside polling sites. The Coalition of Independents representative says conditions on the ground are putting smaller candidates at a disadvantage. She claims that both major parties, the PLP and F&M, have taken up the majority of space outside polls, setting up tents and other paraphernalia, leaving little room for other candidates to operate. She argues the situation creates an unfair environment and is calling for greater oversight to ensure all participants are given a fair opportunity to engage voters.
Why is it necessary for the PLP party as well as the FNM party to put so many tents? All of us, have two representatives, both for Marathon and Freetown. So my issue now is, why are we encroaching on persons' democratic right? What I'm understanding is they're putting all of these here, in my view, as an intimidation tactic. So I'm here concerned that all of the paraphernalia, all of the flags, the feather flags, and all of the tents are unnecessary, leaving no space, as usual, for the other persons that are stepping forward to fight for the change in the country.
Well, in just a few hours, as we mentioned, thousands of Bahamians, both at home and abroad, will begin casting their ballots in the advance poll, marking a critical step in the democratic process ahead of Election Day. There are a number of voting stations abroad, including locations in Jamaica, Miami, and Canada. As for who is eligible to vote in the advance poll, members of the armed forces, election agents representing the various political parties, and individuals who will be hospitalized or in nursing facilities or homes for the aged on Election Day. Also eligible are those unable to travel to the polls due to illness or pregnancy, persons who will be overseas on that day, individuals with disabilities, and senior citizens age 65 and older. The deadline to apply was April 25th. Now, our news team checked in on several voting stations abroad today. First Secretary Council of the Bahamas High Commissioner in Ottawa, Canada, Nahaja Black, tells us things there are going smoothly.
We're quite excited to be taking part of this, of course, this level of history, as every mission abroad is. Right now, we have officers, PRD, and two police officers arrived yesterday in Ottawa and are setting up today in preparation for advance polls tomorrow. Our acting High Commissioner, Ms. Danielle Ward, is leading the charge in accommodating all of the required needs for the High Commission at this point, and so things are underway.
And in Miami, Florida, an area where many Bahamians reside, Consul General Tyson McKenzie says all systems are in place for a smooth and orderly exercise.
You know, we had a registration drive for Bahamian students over the last couple of months since they announced the general election date. So I can say that we have quite a number, I would say we're hitting the hundreds, not 100, sorry, hitting 100 in terms of persons registered to vote in Miami. However, as you know, only persons who would have submitted the Form J would be able to register overseas in Miami or be able to vote in Miami. And that number is still being confirmed. But it is based on the numbers of persons that we have registered. I can say that it will be a substantive amount within a range of, I would say, it would hit 100 persons registered to vote in Miami. That will include, obviously, us who work for government, who are state tourism officials who work for government, our spouses, our dependents.
Well, nice weather conditions on this Hump Day Wednesday. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and a happy Hump Day, everybody. A very warm evening on the outside. Temperatures very warm, 80 degrees with a few clouds, but we'll call it mostly clear. East winds at 8 miles per hour. It feels like temperature hanging out in the upper 70s. 77 is what it feels like on the outside. Satellite radar composite. High pressure still in charge, dry air mass still in place, and that's going to continue to keep us with some very sunny conditions and some warm temperatures. A couple of isolated showers popping up along the islands as those islands heat up. And we do have a couple of showers down in the southeast Bahamas, but that high will stay with us throughout the remainder of the week. So if you have plans for the outdoors, make sure you drink a lot of liquids, preferably water, once you go outdoors. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Foreign commercial bank.
A union claiming limited promotions in no clear career path, warning they won't stay silent. The full story when our news continues. Stay with us.
Providing safe and secure banking. But Michael Pintard says,
we will abolish the bank through the post office system.
That's a risk Bahamians can't afford. That's why the Prime Minister is making post office savings banks stronger to protect Bahamian families and small businesses who rely on them. Foreign commercial banks have been closing across our islands. For thousands of Bahamians, our country's post office savings banks are a lifeline, providing safe and secure banking. But Michael Pintard says,
we will abolish the bank through the post office system.
That's a risk Bahamians can't afford. That's why the Prime Minister is making post office savings banks stronger to protect Bahamian families and small businesses who rely on them.
When I wake up in the morning and I take a walk outside, I see the sunshine, I see a new day, and that feeling puts a smile right on my face. I know just what to do, go to the paint place. So if you wanna paint it right the first time, go to the paint place, stop at the paint place. And if you want it to last a lifetime, go to the paint place, stop at the paint place.
It's your vote.
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 Then it's our vote. Tune into Channel 212 on election night for play-by-play coverage of the biggest decision in the country. It's our vote, only on RTV.
Meet the voices who want your vote. Coming to the RTV lineup, Candidates Catalog, a show that throws political heavyweights and newcomers into headline-grabbing challenges. Join Megan Shepherd as she dissects candidates' promises, pasts, and personas. Candidates Catalog, where strategy collides with conscience. Only on RTV.
The Bahamas Union of Auxiliary Professionals in Education speaking out once again, this time claiming there is no upward career path opportunities for staff and middle managers employed at the Bahamas Technical Vocational Institute. The union also claims there is no room for promotions. In a press conference this morning, Union President Ernesto Williams telling our news they won't be silent. They are demanding fair treatment.
It is not extraordinary. This is standard. And you will not disrespect the work and the continued efforts of line staff and middle managers who give their time, who give their service, who give their exceptional above and beyond the call of duty commitment to the betterment of the nation's leading technical and vocational institute. You will not ride on that for your own gain and push God's people down. It won't happen. It won't happen.
The union has been vocal. In fact, they've been at the negotiation table since November. And while there's been some movement, they say they're not satisfied.
I've been employed there for 11 years. Okay, I've taken it upon myself to advance myself, right, with my degree, my certifications, and my performance evaluation speaks for itself. But to date, I have not yet received a promotion.
Coming up in sports, once again, the Duke boys are home, just like us, and VJ is still alive in the playoffs. Which tennis player is streaking right now, and which minor leaguer had a milestone moment last night?
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8 p.m. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and time allocated.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Martinut. Let's do show. Sure, when the Sixers are at full strength, the counting stats might go down for VJ, but winning and keeping the season alive, that is the lead here. Edgecombe scored 10 and grabbed 7 rebounds while shooting 3 for 6 from beyond the arc, and the 76ers staved off elimination with a 113-97 win over the Celtics in Game 5. The formula seems simple. VJ hits a 3, Philly wins. In 2 series wins, he's gone 9 for 16 from 3, and in the 3 losses, 0 for 16. Game 6 is set for Thursday night, and the Sixers look to even the series at home at the Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philly. Meanwhile, Buddy Hield got some late game run in the Hawks' 126-97 loss to the Knicks. Hield scored 5 in his first game action since he had 31 in the regular season finale. The Hawks trailed the series 3-2 and will host the Knicks in Atlanta Thursday night at 7.
Justin Roberts has been on a run recently that has him progressing to a career high on the ITF Tour. Roberts is now ranked 164th by the organization after his recent run at the Orlando M15 tournaments. He had 3 wins over Alex Cooperston, Blue Baker, and Bastien Mala before an eventual loss to top-seeded Cannon Kingley in the semifinal. At the previous M15 Orlando event, Roberts went on a 7-match run to play his way from the qualifying draw into the final before losing to top seed Corrington Denali. From the last 2 tournaments, Roberts won 12 ATP points, moving up 295 spots for a new season-high ranking of 976 in the world in the ATP Live rankings.
We've said it a few times this season. The benefit of playing in the World Baseball Classic translates to the fields in the minor leagues, and it's happening for Ian Lewis. Lewis's debut season in AA with the Pensacola Blue Wahoos has had several milestone moments so far, and that continued last night with his first home run at this level. His solo shot tied the game in the 7th inning before Biloxi went on to win 7-2. It adds to what has been an electrifying start to the year for the Miami Marlins prospect, but most of those highlights have come from his speed on the base paths. Earlier in April, Lewis stole 4 bases in a single game against Biloxi and later swiped 3 bags against the Knoxville Smokies. That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS. Tomorrow's a big day, tension in the streets at an all-time high. You ready for this?
No, because I sent all my information in that I won't be here on election day, and I haven't got any response back.
You're telling me that it's an inefficient system?
Pretty much.
There's no way. No way.
When our news comes back from the break, warm weather on this Wednesday. Greg is back with your extended forecast when our news returns. Stay with us.
It's your vote.
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 Then it's our vote. Tune into Channel 212 on election night for play-by-play coverage of the biggest decision in the country. It's our vote, only on RTV.
Meet the voices who want your vote. Coming to the RTV lineup, Candidates Catalog, a show that throws political heavyweights and newcomers into headline-grabbing challenges. Join Megan Shepard as she dissects candidates' promises, pasts, and personas. Candidates Catalog, where strategy collides with conscience. Only on RTV.
Danielle here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see more great content, be sure to hit that notification button and follow the team you already trust.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous...
This is our news. Welcome back. High pressure is still the name of the game across our islands, keeping us with some tranquil weather. If you have plans for the outdoors, make sure you stay hydrated, take some shade. But we could see 1 or 2 spotty showers as the islands heat up during the afternoon hours. Most of those will be isolated to spotty at most. But that high pressure will eventually slide out towards the east. That's going to pave the way for a weak frontal boundary that will move across central Florida, should clip the northern Bahamas. But we don't expect any significant weather with that. But like I said, if you have plans for the next couple of days, make sure you do get outdoors. Boating forecast, pretty nice on the waters in the northwest Bahamas tonight to tomorrow. Southeast to south winds 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. Seas running 2 to 4 feet of open waters. High tide is at 7:27 tonight. Low tide takes place at 1:05 in the morning. Central and southeastern islands, east to southeasterly flow at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we will continue with the sunny conditions throughout the remainder of the week. Temperatures will start to flirt with those 90-degree temperatures by the end of the week. And then we get a frontal boundary by early next week. Could bring us a couple of showers, but those temperatures will not take much of a dip. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much for that, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall-Thomas. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.